Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Startup Talk series supporting bright ideas. Today, we have with us Niharika from ONEChampionship. Thank you so much for joining us today, Niharika.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you. So, we were talking about, like all the great things that ONEChampionship has been doing and all the interesting innovations that are coming out from ONEChampionship. Tell us a little bit more about ONEChampionship. How did you start as a company and what got you here today?
Well, ONEChampionship, where it is today, took a lot of hard work, sweat and tears. And I find the journey particularly extraordinary because I haven't been there since the start. So for me, I knew a lot about ONEChampionship when I joined about 2 years ago, but now I've seen the pace at which it runs and everything makes sense. For a company like us, which is just 10 years old, to now be one of the fastest growing global sports media properties and also one of the largest properties in terms of broadcast reach, in terms of digital reach, I think it's been very, very fascinating. And I have to say it started with clarity of vision. So Chatri, of course, when he laid out the vision and the mission for the company, which was to unleash real life superheroes to inspire and spread hope, strength, and dreams. I think we've stayed true to it right from the start. And that has given us a lot of momentum because when you know what you're trying to achieve and you're so true to it, everything makes sense. Then the hard work doesn't matter. There is so much resilience. There have been a lot of failures in the journey of ONEChampionship. And Chatri talks very often about how in the early days, it was so hard to even get our content on any broadcast. And, you keep knocking doors from investors, etc., and you get turned down. But to keep at it, it means you really need to dream, you really need to believe in that, and you need to be super resilient. And I think that's what we did. And today, if somebody actually looked at us and said, hey, 7 years ago, you guys were just starting out and you were so small, they wouldn't believe it because we're so massive today.
So inspiring. So you said a couple of very interesting things about the vision and the mission that has been set out for the company and how you have learned and grown from your failures. Could you share a little bit more about what kind of failures have you experienced in the past and what have you learned from it?
When we started martial arts, organized martial arts in Asia, we started in Asia. Today, of course, we're truly global, but there was no talent available that you could just go and say, hey, I'll pay you some money, come join us. There was no organized player. So we literally had to go from gym to gym, have that eye for talent, train these athletes, make them into world champions. And today, we have the largest number of world champions compared to any martial arts company. So that has really been a journey. It's about you have a dream, you have a vision. How do you sell that dream to other people? How do you get such a massive ecosystem? There's a massive ecosystem you need to make a sports media property successful. And right from athletes, having fans, having brand sponsors, investors, broadcast partners, media partners, digital partners, the fact that we could sell the dream in such a short amount of time, I think that was the biggest challenge, but also I would say our biggest success because today, no matter who you speak to, they know ONEChampionship, they know how massive we are, and our fan community is just growing leaps and bounds. In fact, I think towards the end of last year, October or November, we crossed more than 1 billion organic views in a single month.
Wow.
1 billion organic,
Very
not paid
impressive.
Media, right? In 10 years. And to think that 5 years ago or 6 years ago, we were still having to sell the dream to one person at a time. I think that's been the biggest challenge and the biggest success.
So inspiring. And I think this comes back to the vision that you just spoke about. Microsoft is also very strong in our own mission statement of empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Tell us about why you think the vision is important for ONEChampionship and what do you do on a day-to-day basis to live by your vision?
Sure. So to recap, our mission is to unleash real life superheroes who can spread hope, dreams, strength, and inspiration in the world. And I think we stay true to that mission every single day in small decisions, in big decisions, even in the kind of businesses we do. To start off, we started with martial arts as our business. And there it's pretty obvious how there are real life superheroes because most of our world champions actually do not come from a privileged background. And they've all fought a lot of hardship in life and they've stayed courageous, they've stayed resilient, and now they're here. And we know for a fact there are so many fans around the world who come up and tell us how the story of one Ongla, the story of one Martin Nguyen really change their lives. So that is very obvious, but it doesn't stop there, because we, a couple of years ago, launched our esports business. And there too, it's not just about gaming and esports, it's about telling the stories of these people who are so good at what they do.
Esports kind of got my attention, especially during pandemic.
Right.
A lot of disruption has happened in the
Right.
sports industry, and I think sports fans were really frustrated because they couldn't go in the field
Right.
and they couldn't enjoy the games. What have you observed as a business, how it has impacted you, and how you have taken this as an opportunity to grow as a company?
I have to say, when the pandemic struck, our business did get impacted across esports and across even our martial arts sports business. But I think it took us a couple of months to just gauge the situation. And within a couple of months, we had actually come back with a completely different plan that would allow us to go on. And also to mention, the Apprentice ONEChampionship edition was all shot during a pandemic.
Wow. Okay.
A 50-member crew, and then the cast, everybody flying in from different places. And of course, the Singapore Tourism Board really helped us, and with their COVID protocols. And we did a 7-week shoot with no casualties, as in no COVID cases. But we did it during a pandemic. And similarly, on the esports side, we've been doing events, online tournaments. In fact, just this weekend, we wrapped up our Dota 2 major tournament. And I don't have the final numbers yet, but it's trending close to 200 million views.
Wow.
So
That's
it's just,
massive.
the show must go on, holds true for ONEChampionship so much. And it goes back to just the reason why we got here so fast is because when we see a challenge, we don't just get stopped by it or disappointed by it. It's all about what is plan B and how do we keep moving forward.
So you have all the right ingredients to take you to the next level as one, right? So what are your bold aspirations for the next 12 months as a company?
Sure. I think we have bold aspirations all the time. Every day we wake up and we're like, let's go conquer that. And that idea sounds crazy. Let's do it. Similarly, we want to go more direct to consumer as well. And we will be doing our first PPB event very soon, probably multiple of those this year. Apart from that, our esports business, given the traction it's getting, is something we will keep accelerating. In fact, the other thing where technology will play a role is we're already building out our fantasy platform for esports, and we've already been doing proof of concepts. We did that for Dota 2 Major that we just wrapped up, and building our fantasy platform. Our gaming platform is something that is very core to our vision, because there is a huge overlap between the ONEChampionship fans and people who like gaming.
How can companies like Microsoft support you to accomplish your big, bold aspirations?
I truly believe the journey of one of the next 5 years will be very tech dominant. And for that, having a partner like Microsoft would be hugely beneficial. In fact, I really owe a lot to people at Microsoft, because I think the best part of our partnership has been the people.
Our team has prepared some rapid fire questions
Sure.
for us to get to know you a little bit better. I mean, we did learn a little bit more about the corporate strategy piece, the tech piece, and what one is doing as a company.
Right.
But it's a great opportunity for us to know
Sure.
you as well.
Bring it
So you have to answer in one word or few phrase
Sure.
or a phrase, yeah? Okay. So are you ready?
Yes.
Do you prefer the mountain or the beach?
Both. I think sunrise near the mountains and sunset at the beach.
How would you describe the meaning of life in one sentence?
I think life is about having hope that your life can be what you want it to be, and then the courage to actually make that happen.
If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Home.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. If you choose only one memory that describes your childhood, what would that memory be?
It'll probably be me running around crazily and climbing trees in one moment, and then the next moment sitting down on my study table and studying in a very disciplined manner, because I think that sums up who I am. I've always been very free-spirited and very disciplined at the same time.
So cool. That's a great combination. If you could travel in time, in what era would you go and why?
The Victorian era, because I love Victorian architecture. I can stare at it for hours. And also there is this romantic vision of horse-drawn carriages and these yellow lamps on the streets with that architecture in the background. I would love that.
I have to say, you are very imaginative. I mean, you really got me to imagine and picture everything.
Because
that
I
you
do
just said.
imagine it very often in my mind.
Thank you so much, Niharika. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate having
me.
you here.
I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.